Dirty story by the ENV for nature. A real dirty story in Vietnam. The confiscation of the macaques was justified by stating that they were neither pets, nor had ever been considered as such. Additionally, it was argued that there were no documents to support their ownership. The authorities continuously provided explanations, but it seems they overlooked mentioning the true reasons behind their actions in Vietnam. I find it hard to believe that the ENV has enough personnel to carry out surveillance, watch videos, or manage confiscation operations. Their website clearly states that they are a small non-governmental organization. Yet, they seemingly had enough manpower to suddenly execute the confiscation of the monkeys named Kaka and MIT. Where did they obtain their information? It's highly unlikely that it came exclusively from videos. Who is funding the individuals responsible for monitoring? Who is paying for the time spent scouring YouTube and similar platforms for clues? Oh my goodness, so sorry, it was meant ironically. The ENV has updated its profile information, shifting from non-governmental to a more defined statement. We are a not-for-profit organization committed to combating illegal wildlife trade, trafficking, and consumption. This revised description highlights over 20 years of dedicated efforts in addressing these critical issues. Let's continue with what the ENV has done, permitted, and believed. They have defamed the family, exerted psychological pressure, punished an entire family, including the apes, and inflicted emotional harm. This occurred, in part, because someone was acting behind the scenes, and even went so far as to betray the family via his own YouTube channels, using them for personal gain. Watch the following pictures. That's the consequences of the confiscating of Kaka and MIT and the responsibility of the Environmental Protection Agency, ENV, and an individual who seemingly intended to deliberately harm the family, despite the fact that this person kept a monkey in their own household. The confiscation of the monkeys Kaka, MIT, and Puka by the ENV represents a profoundly detrimental action as it involved releasing animals incapable of surviving in the wild. This intervention caused significant psychological harm to the monkeys, leading to mental distress and depression, as well as physical ailments. Following the confiscation, Puka fell sick soon after and was removed from the location. Kaka suffered from a tail inflammation, while the fate of the young monkey MIT remains unknown. Interestingly, Kaka was abruptly removed from Ben En Island overnight, following the human father's disclosure that Kaka had developed inflammation on his tail. This removal occurred without any explanation or prior notification. At some point it was reported that Nak had supposedly provided her with some food. This was portrayed as an egregious offense, an act steeped in moral outrage. However, in our assessment, such claims appear to be nothing more than a disingenuous pretext. And here we are. Initially, the family was permitted to visit Kaka, MIT, and Puka, who was later relocated, bring food for them, hold them, and pet them. However, the organization ENV subsequently decided to prohibit the family from feeding Kaka and MIT. Following this decision, they were also barred from visiting the animals, filming them, and engaging in any related activities. What transpired next marked another significant turning point. This individual ostensibly claimed to want to assist the family and facilitate the return of Kaka and MIT to their home. It was known that the family had been subjected to a prohibition, disallowing them from filming or feeding Kaka and MIT, a measure that, in our view, was solely intended as harassment by the ENV. This perspective aligns with our belief in freedom of opinion. In contrast, in Vietnam, adherence and obedience seem to prevail, reminiscent of conditions akin to the 18th century. This individual visited the ENV facilities and spent time with Kaka and MIT, apparently even feeding them and recording them on video. Strangely enough, the ENV did not intervene or prevent this, raising the question of why this person was allowed such access. What followed is troubling. The footage this person captured was later used in his own videos, effectively exploiting Kaka and MIT for his own purposes. He were fully aware that this would likely cause problems for the family, which seems to have been intentional. Despite knowing about the restrictions, he ignored them, and what's more concerning is that the ENV condoned this behavior by permitting it to happen. When these videos surfaced, the ENV seized the opportunity to claim that Nock was behind them, alleging that he arranged for the individual to publish the footage. This person didn't even consider helping Nock or his family, nor did he step forward to reveal the truth. As a result, the family was accused of sending this individual to the ENV to film Kaka and MIT for him. It turned into an elaborate spectacle, a hypocritical charade designed to harm both the family and the monkeys. Nock had no involvement with the videos and did not send this person to the ENV. However, the so-called animal rescue organization continues to cling to its falsehoods. The ENV has caused emotional and mental harm to the monkeys Kaka and MIT. On their website, they even admit that monkeys who have never lived in the wild cannot survive there. Despite this, they still release the monkeys into the wild. It was then alleged that Nock had also solicited donations, calling for the rescue of Kaka and MIT. Alt-hot despite Nock's public attempts to defend himself. ENV continued to subject him to harassment. Why do you talk about saving anything? Didn't you already claim the ENV have saved the monkeys? Perhaps you should think carefully before you speak, because you seem to be entangling yourselves in your own lies and accusations against Nock. Sure, you're right about one thing, the animals do need saving. But they need saving from your ignorance. You clearly don't know how to handle animals properly, nor do you seem to understand how to treat people. It seems there are neither human rights nor animal welfare matter. You simply do whatever you want and somehow convince yourselves it's the right thing to do. Subsequently, the family also fell victim to blackmail. This raises the fundamental question, what exactly is happening in Vietnam? Nevertheless, the Environmental Nature Vietnam, ENV, continued to subject this remarkable family to harassment, compounding their hardships. If the assertions made regarding at ENV are inaccurate, then we demand evidence to substantiate claims that the situation unfolded differently. Results of the confiscation: Puka fell ill, MIT was abducted, and Kaka became unwell, suffering from depression and developing inflammation on her tail. Now, she too has disappeared. The pressing questions remain: where is Kaka? Where is MIT? Where is Puka? You should be ashamed, ENV. The ones don't deserve punishment, this wonderful family, but rather those who subject animals like Kaka and MIT to the horrors of Vietnam's cruel streets. This family gave them a chance at a better life, free from cages and spared the horrific fate of being cooked. Have you ever reflected on whether you take pride in breaking entire families and their cherished animals, inflicting profound emotional, psychological, and mental harm on them? Are you aware of your actions? I have personally reported multiple incidents of genuine animal cruelty originating from Vietnam through platforms like Facebook and YouTube. These acts of brutality, vividly displayed in online videos, include horrifying scenes where animals, such as monkeys, are subjected to torment, being forced under shower streams, held under running water, cruelly tethered and made to perform unnatural movements outdoors, or hurled around violently at home. The abuse continues unchecked, with countless other deplorable acts inflicted upon them. And what outcomes have these reports yielded? Nothing. Neither Facebook nor YouTube nor the charitable organization ENV has taken effective measures to intervene. No visibly abused animals have been rescued from harm, no confiscations have taken place, and absolutely no actions have been initiated to alleviate their suffering. To all those who claim the title of animal saviors, where are you? And why have platforms like Facebook and YouTube failed to address these grievous violations? This video is likely to go viral once again, and we will not give up nor remain silent. We demand transparency, we demand the truth, and we insist that Kaka, MIT, and Puka be returned home. Provided the ENV has not already caused their deaths, or led them to succumb to diseases stemming from inadequate care and hygiene within your so-called ENV animal prison in Vietnam. Emotional cruelty towards animals and humans, ENV for nature. False accusations, distortion of truth. Violations of human rights. Violations of animal rights. We don't stop. We don't stop. We don't stop.